Hey everyone, I'm Jennifer, co-owner of The Secret Garden, and it is always a good time to plant herbs. So a couple of things you want to think about. Number one is the size of the pot. A terrific rule of thumb is to always go up at least double from the size of the nursery pot. The second thing to consider is the soil you're using. Fabulous mix is to have potting soil and also compost. Do a ratio of 2:1 potting soil to compost. All right, when you're planting herbs, just like other plants, you want to make sure that you're choosing herbs that live well together. So by that I mean there are herbs that like full sun, there are herbs that like less sun, there are herbs that need more water, and herbs that need less water. For example, dry garden herbing, okay, is sage, thyme, rosemary, things like that. You would not want to plant those herbs with basil. Basil is a heavy water consumer. It's important to also know which herbs of even within the herb you're planting you're going to use, because there are different varieties. For example, this is an upright rosemary. It, in growing into its full form, can even get to be 4, 5, 6 feet tall. Then there's also trailing rosemary. This is fabulous for the edge of a planter. Its growth habit is going to stay lower to the ground and trail over a pot. And with the sages, we have lots of choices as well. This is a beautiful purple sage that I think I'm going to use, but there is tricolor sage and regular old green sage. Okay, they're all culinary and you're going to be able to use all of them the same. And then I definitely want to get some thyme in there. Again, some different varieties. I have a beautiful variegated thyme, the all green thyme, and even some lemon thyme. When you're taking your plant out of the nursery pot, give everything a good squeeze. I can tell that this has been in here for a long time. The roots are very developed. The stem is very developed. Roots have a memory, funny enough, and if you just stick this directly into a pot, those roots are going to continue to go around and around in a circle, and they're never going to really branch out and grow well in the pot. So we're going to break that up. And again, I'm not hurting the roots by doing that. I can even take some of this off. All right, next we're going to add in our beautiful purple sage. I'm going to take this off. Again, these roots are not as impacted, but we're still going to break them up. When you plant a plant into a container, you always want to make sure that it is buried to the same depth that it was buried in the last pot that it was in. You don't want to leave any exposed roots, and you don't want to bury something that was growing naturally in the sun. You don't want to throw that down into the ground. This is going to be the beautiful spiller in our pot. Not only are we getting functionality out of an herb arrangement, fabulous dinners created with fresh herbs, but we're also getting beauty in a beautiful staged arrangement. Just add a little more dirt, make sure the roots are covered. When you transplant something, oftentimes a plant can go into a little bit of transplant shock. It's extremely important to water at that time. It's a good idea to water the soil and not the plant leaves itself. Watering the leaves can cause some fungus issues. Water thoroughly until you see the water come out the bottom of the pot, and you'll know you did a good job.